What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I briefly want to talk about this THQ showcase. It shouldn't come as any surprise, that we're getting it, but we got the date. You can kind of see it behind me here. August 1st, I'll go over the times and the info, but I'm pretty excited. I'm glad that they're still doing it. I don't expect like the world from these kind of events. You kind of know where to set your expectation for a studio that, this isn't Summer Game Fest. This isn't the Game Awards. This isn't an Xbox showcase, right? This is a company that has a couple things that I'm really interested in, I'm really excited for. But, again, you set your expectations accordingly, right? So, like I said, August 1st, the times are noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. That's 1 o'clock my time. Do your own conversions. If you guys want me to stream it, I think I tried to stream it last year. Maybe I did. Let me know, in the comments here. I can stream it on Podcast Now. They did confirm a couple games. The notable ones for me is the Gothic remake and Reanimal. I know there's always, whenever I talk about Little Nightmares, everybody always says, talk about Reanimal. I think they can live in harmony. I think you can do both of them. But those are, for me, those are two very, very big ones. Wreckfest, Titan Quest 2. There's a couple other ones as well. But so for me, okay, they talk about, kind of the general synopsis that you get from these things. Like there'll be new announcements. Now they do kind of hype it up. Okay, they do kind of say it. They say a feast of world premiere announcements, fresh updates on previously announced titles, including some long-awaited release dates and a few surprises that they didn't hint at already. And I think they even said, or did they? They could say they kept a few aces up their sleeves. So, I'll be real, they are definitely setting it up for, high expectations. So, if it misses, I don't really think that's on us. That's more on them. Look, for me, personally, I've always talked about the SpongeBob game, very important to me, and something that, I think we've heard and we've seen through other things. It's coming out still this year, so it should release by the end of the year. If you announce it August 1st, the name leaked. I won't, I guess we don't have to go into it if you don't want me to, but, the name leaked, probably comes out, November-ish, December, so that's exciting for me. The Gothic one is definitely, I've never played the original. I've kept up on all of the, updates and all the times they've shown it. Looks really good. Doesn't necessarily look up my alley, but it's definitely a game I want to check out. And then, of course, the Ninja Turtles game, right? That's a big one. We have not gotten updates on that one for a while, so hopefully that's one where it's okay, it's been long enough, you could show off some stuff. Really, it's those first two that I very much expect things for. And then, I go to Darksiders, right? They teased it at the end of last year's show, right? I believe that was the last thing they showed last year. And it's all right, again, another year has passed. And then, new properties. I've always, if you're going the Nickelodeon or kind of, the more kid-centric stuff, I've always talked about Fairly Odd Parents. Break Into Rules, if you remember that game back in the day. I love that game. If you want to go back to the well and do remakes or remasters and not just on SpongeBob games, I think that's always a good choice. But yeah, I'm excited for it, and I'm sure there's games that I'm sure they'll announce that are not even close to being on my radar. So you have opportunity to be impressed or surprised. Gothic 2 or Gothic also, let's say, SpongeBob and the Gothic remake, I think are both supposed to release this year. So I wonder, the Gothic one kind of gives off the signals that it might do an early access thing. I've broken my own rule a couple times. No Rest for the Wicked, Hades 2, I've done early access for those, but a lot of times, actually 99% of times, I don't support early access, but I feel like the Gothic one might do something like that. SpongeBob, I don't think obviously would, right? But you give me a couple release dates for these things, you show off a couple new games, and maybe you end it with TMNT, that last Ronin game, that could be very, very good and really a highlight of THQ. So hopefully that's there. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.